A finance worker sits down for a video call. He recognizes every face on the screen. His CFO, 3 colleagues, people he's worked alongside for years. They discuss a routine transaction. He wires the money. 15 payments, 5 Hong Kong bank accounts, $25 million, gone in a single afternoon. None of those people were real. Every face, every voice, every gesture, generated by AI, purchased off a dark web marketplace for a few $100s by a criminal who had never met a single person at that company. The finance worker didn't realize he'd been robbed until he called the actual CFO in person to follow up. That wasn't a sophisticated nation-state attack. That wasn't a Hollywood budget operation. That was a product, a subscription service, something you can buy right now on forums that run like Amazon, with customer reviews and money-back guarantees. And here is what should stop you cold. You don't need to be a CFO. You don't need to work at a multinational firm. You need 3 seconds of your voice, a voicemail, a TikTok, a birthday video, and someone with $20 and a dark web account can build a version of you good enough to call your mother. The technology already exists. The marketplace already exists. And for the people running it, you are not a target. You're a product. So how did we get here? And how deep does this market actually go? To understand what Deepfake-as-a-Service is, you need to understand what it replaced. 5 years ago, creating a convincing deepfake required a serious GPU rig, a machine learning background, and days of render time. It was the domain of academics, nation-state hackers, and film studios with million-dollar VFX pipelines. Then the tools democratized. The same open-source models that let researchers study synthetic media let criminals package it into a product. By 2025, deepfake files on the internet had surged from 500,000 to over 8 million. Fraud attempts using synthetic media grew 3,000% in a single year in North America alone. The dark web didn't create this. It absorbed it. Underground forums, the same ones selling stolen credit cards and ransomware kits, began hosting deepfake vendors the way a shopping mall hosts anchor stores. You could browse by category: voice cloning, face swapping, full persona simulation, real-time video impersonation for live calls. Europol's 2025 threat assessment called it a direct mirror of ransomware-as-a-service dynamics, organized, tiered, quality-controlled. The model looks like this. A vendor builds the tool chain, deploys it as a subscription, monthly fees, usage credits, premium tiers. Customers don't need technical skills. They need a target social media, a photo, maybe 10 seconds of audio scraped from a public video, and the desire to use it. Fraud GPT, Worm GPT, Dark BERT. These aren't hypothetical tools. These are dark web products, AI systems stripped of every safety guardrail that legitimate models carry, sold to anyone who can pay the monthly fee. Think of it like Netflix, but for crime. And then there is the layer underneath that most coverage misses entirely, the synthetic identity market. Because deepfakes are just the face. The identity is the infrastructure. A synthetic identity isn't a stolen identity. It's built, constructed from components the way a car is assembled from parts. A real social security number, purchased from a dark web breach database, attached to someone who hasn't used credit yet, a child, or a recently deceased person. A fabricated name, a fake birthday, an AI-generated face, realistic enough to pass a document verification check. A cloned voice, scraped from public video and trained in minutes. A fabricated credit history, seeded over months through phantom accounts, designed to look aged and legitimate. The Federal Reserve estimated synthetic identity fraud cost U.S. lenders alone $6 billion in a single year, and that was before AI began industrializing the production process. Now, AI-powered scrapers sweep public breach databases, have I been pwned, LinkedIn data dumps, genealogy record leaks, and automatically generate complete dossiers, real names attached to fabricated backstories, real phone numbers tied to AI-generated voice profiles, real addresses assigned to faces that have never existed. The result is an identity that passes the checks that are supposed to stop it. Biometric verification, KYC, know your customer, protocols at banks and financial institutions, even live video verification calls, which were once considered the gold standard of identity proof. In 2025, AI-powered deepfakes were involved in over 30% of high-impact corporate impersonation attacks globally. U.S. financial fraud losses reached $12.5 billion, with AI-assisted attacks as a primary driver. And this isn't a problem that lives in corporate boardrooms. Steve Beauchamp is 82 years old, a retiree. He watched a video of Elon Musk explaining an investment opportunity. The face was right, the voice was right, the gestures were right. He wired $690,000, his entire retirement fund, gone. The video was fake. The Musk on screen had never recorded that message. Every second of it had been synthesized by a darknet vendor running a deepfake subscription service. Beauchamp told the New York Times, the picture of him, it was him. That sentence is the entire problem. The dark web ecosystem running this is not a collection of lone criminals hunched over laptops. It is a supply chain. There are data brokers who harvest breach databases and package personal identifiable information in bulk, names, SSNs, dates of birth, sorted by credit band and geography. There are AI vendors who run the synthesis layer, taking that raw data and generating faces, voice profiles, and supporting documents. There are platform operators who host the marketplace and take a commission. There are customer service agents who handle disputes and refunds. Vendors post reviews. Buyers rate their experience. The most trusted sellers carry verification badges. The ecosystem operates with the same logic as any e-commerce platform: reputation, volume, and recurring subscriptions. The pricing is what makes it accessible. Entry-level deepfake kits, enough to clone a voice from a 10-second audio sample, sell for under $20. Full synthetic identity packages, complete with AI-generated photo ID, supporting documents, and a seeded credit history, run between $1,200 and $2,500, depending on the credit band you need. For organized crime, that's not a cost. It's an investment with a documented return. And the attacks aren't limited to individuals. In Singapore, DAAS operators used executive impersonation to instruct employees to transfer millions to fraudulent accounts. In the Philippines, synthetic media flooded social feeds ahead of a national election. In Hong Kong, an entire fake company board showed up on a video conference. The same tool chain is running all of it. Here is the detail that should collapse the distance between that story and your life. You don't have to be targeted. You can be used. Your face, your voice, your likeness can be scraped from public posts without your knowledge and inserted into a synthetic identity used to defraud a bank, impersonate a colleague, or destroy the reputation of someone you've never met. The crime doesn't start when someone contacts you. It starts the moment someone decides to build a version of you that they control. Every institution trying to stop this is chasing a target that upgrades itself faster than defenses can be written. Liveness detection, the biometric check that looks for blinking, head movement, micro-expressions, was the industry's answer to static deepfakes. Within months, dark web vendors were selling real-time video impersonation tools that defeated it. Voice authentication, the system banks use when you call to verify it's really you, was considered secure. Then voice cloning dropped to a 10-second training window, then to 3. Knowledge-based authentication, the security questions that ask for your mother's maiden name, your first car, the street you grew up on, feeds directly from the data that breach databases sell. Every answer you've ever given publicly is aggregated, analyzed, and preloaded into the synthetic identity before the first call is placed. The UK's National Cybersecurity Centre, the FBI, and Europol have all issued warnings specifically about DAAS as an emerging critical threat. In 2025, Canada saw the steepest individual losses of any country studied, an average of $1,479 Canadian dollars per victim when AI deepfake fraud calls were used. The pattern is mechanical. Technology advances. The defense community responds. The dark web marketplace updates the product. The response cycle repeats at a faster interval every year. What governments built to catch a regional problem is now chasing something that franchises, scales, and operates across 40 countries from a server stack that can be migrated in 40 minutes. Sound familiar? There is no patch for this. Not because the technology can't be improved, not because the laws aren't coming, but because the attack surface isn't a server. It isn't a network. It isn't a device. It's trust. Specifically, the human instinct to believe what we see and hear. The same instinct that lets you recognize your colleague's voice on a call. The same instinct that made Steve Beauchamp certain, absolutely certain, that the man on his screen was real. That instinct doesn't have a firewall. The finance worker at Arup followed protocol. He attended the call. He recognized the faces. He verified through the channels he'd always used, and he wired $25 million to criminals he never met. Every institution that built a wall to stop this has discovered the same thing. The wall works on the technology. The technology walks around the wall and knocks on the human door. And here is the thing about synthetic identities. They don't expire. They don't get arrested. They don't leave footprints on a mountain road. A synthetic identity gets flagged, and within hours, the same AI generates a new one with a new face, a new voice, a new SSN attached to a different child's untouched credit file. The market that built this isn't a group of criminals. It's a system. And systems, the ones built right, outlive every attempt to shut them down. Somewhere right now, a vendor on a dark web forum just pushed a product update. Better liveness defeat, faster voice clone training, a new package that slips through the latest KYC protocol. And somewhere, their customer is looking for a target. The question isn't whether this technology can reach you. It already has.